Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Carrie Swore. I'm Chief Growth Officer for Urban Teachers. So tonight is our first ever webinar we've done as a Q&A with parents at Urban Teachers. So far I have one of our panelist, Brandy Griffith, who's driving. But she knows I'm also doing a couple slides first. So just in case some of you have not sort of heard our overview of our program, I'm going to sort of walk us through two slides, and then hopefully a couple other folks will be joining us that we had planned, because we had hoped to have folks, panelists from DC, Baltimore, and Dallas-Fort Worth. But I do have Brandy, so we are doing this no matter what. So thank you, Brandy. All right, so I'm going to talk through two slides. I'm going to give you sort of a quick overview of Urban Teachers program, and then also cover the finances. So those are sort of the two things that we want to make sure that you completely get about our program. So first off, you do need to have your bachelor's degree by this June to join us in our cohort 2017. We do prefer folks to have a minimum GPA of a 3.0, though we do have a little bit of flexibility. So can have folks with a 2.75 for outstanding candidates, and even a little bit more wiggle room down to a 2.5 in DC, Fort Worth, and in DC and Dallas Fort Worth, if you have a STEM background or are already working with one of our school partners. We're definitely looking for folks who are results-oriented, resilient, reflective, and have a growth mindset. To apply, there is an online application on our website. Then we have a digital performance task where you answer a couple questions and do some writing tasks online. And then we have you join us for a final interview day, and that can be in person or virtual. If you're selected, then you get your choice of one of our three sites. So Dallas, Fort Worth, DC, and Baltimore. At this late in the game, we are really looking for folks for a Dallas, Fort Worth site. And luckily Brandy is there, so she can speak to that site as well, where we're really looking for folks. We do still have slots in Baltimore and DC, but again, if you are able to if you're interested in Dallas, we would strongly encourage you to suggest those cities. So from there, you start your residency year, and Brandy, who's on our call, is a resident in Dallas-Fort Worth, and you work, you basically are co-teach with the host teacher for the whole year, and you have two different summer placements and two different host teacher placements while you're starting your master's, and your master's is with our higher ed partner, Johns Hopkins University School of Education, the white boxes there really show that there is very high accountability for our program. So you have to maintain a 3.0 GPA with your graduate coursework. You have to meet teacher practice expectations and demonstrate high levels of growth mindset and professionalism. So from the residency year, then you move on to your first year as a teacher. So you continue with those high milestones of a high GPA, increasing teacher practice expectations, and high levels of growth mindset and professionalism. So at the end of year 2 is when you earn your master's degree, and then you move on to year 3. That's your second year as a teacher classroom, as a teacher in a classroom, and that's when you earn your certification, and that's when the bar to become certified becomes even higher, because at that point you have to demonstrate your ability to improve student achievement meet increasing teaching practice expectations, demonstrate high levels of growth mindset and professionalism. Over those first 3 years, we also provide over 100 hours of one-on-one coaching. So that's really, really intensive support that is designed around your specific needs. And hopefully we can ask Brandy a little bit about what her experience has been receiving that coaching during her residency year and how that's improving her teaching practice. From there, you move on to your last year of commitment with Urban Teachers. Though many folks stay in the classroom with their school partners well beyond year 4, but that's your commitment to finish Urban Teachers and to finish your commitment with your school partner. Many folks take on leadership roles at that point, serve as host teachers or department chairs or team lead chairs. All those kinds of things start happening in year 4 with folks in our program. All right, I'm going to move on to the next slide. So this is, I'm sorry, very wordy slide, but it really covers like all of the costs and benefits of our program. So I'm just going to talk through briefly here. So as part of the residency, you get over 1,500 hours of co-teaching experience, so real hands-on practice before your teacher record in that first year. During that first year, you get a $20,000 stipend that is given out in monthly installments. We pay for your room and board for Summer Institute. You also get health care through the Johns Hopkins School of Education Student Health Care. We pay for your books and materials for your graduate degree. You get 36 hours of one-on-one coaching. You're eligible for federal financial aid. And at the moment, you're still eligible for Siegel AmeriCorps Education Awards at the end of spring. Typically, that's worth about $5,700. We are closely watching the budget, the federal budget, to see what happens to AmeriCorps, as you may have seen that it is on the chopping block. So we're hopeful that all of us working together will make sure that stays in there. So we'll see and keep folks posted. So the cost that first year, tuition is in the fall you'll get a bill for $10,000. In the spring, another bill for $10,000, and you are responsible for your Praxis 2 and PAC tests. You can definitely get federal financial aid to cover those tuition costs, and you can do that by filling out a FAFSA and applying through the School of Education financial aid office. Year 2 is your first year teaching. You get full teacher salary and benefits. Again, your books and materials, 36 hours of one-on-one coaching. You're eligible for loan forbearance, so you do not have to pay back any of your loans again till the third year of our program. You're again eligible for federal financial aid, and all fingers crossed, eligible for AmeriCorps. And finally, we also start paying you for the summer instruction, your second summer. Most people, I'm told, get paid about $2,500 during that second summer. Again, their tuition costs that year, 2 more bills of $10,000 for the total cost of our program of $40,000. Year 3, at that point again, you're getting full teacher salary and benefits, over 18 hours of one-on-one coaching, eligible for additional leadership roles that may pay more, and low repayment starts at that point. Year 4, full teacher salary and benefits, eligible for additional leadership roles, loan repayment there. So a couple other things I just wanted to mention is that all of the school districts and charter management organizations we work with in Baltimore, DC, and Dallas-Fort Worth have some of the highest starting teacher pay in the country. And all of them pay effective experienced teachers more for being effective. So they have what's known as pay for performance as part of their teacher contracts, so you can more quickly move up the teacher salary ladder for being effective. And then lastly, there are a couple other federal loan forgiveness programs that are really very, I'm going to say lucrative. If you teach math or special ed, that's up to $17,500 off your loans after teaching for 5 years. So it is 2 additional years after Urban Teachers program. So that's important to know. That is a significant amount of money. Or if you teach other subjects, it's $5,000. Most folks in our program are eligible for the Teach Grant. That's worth up to $4,000 a year, and you can earn up to 2 of those. And then a couple of our states, Maryland in particular, has a couple of other state-specific loan assistance programs, and Baltimore has one that's a really good one called the Janet Hoffman Loan Assistance Program. So something to check out as well. So that's a quick overview of all of the costs and the benefits of our program, because most of the questions folks have are about our finances. So we wanted to get that out of the way in case you are brand new to us this evening. So, all right. So Brandy, I think you are still my only panelist, so I am going to unmute you. And since tonight is really very specifically around being a parent and urban teachers, I wanted to go there quickly here. And I do know it is like the finals for the college basketball, in case that is a scheduling conflict for a lot of people tonight. So we can, oh, here's Shawnetta too. So now I've got 2 of you. If I can get Shawnetta to get her unmuted, that's perfect timing. Let's see.
Hello.
Here we go. Hi there. Great. Okay, now I've got 2 of you. Great. So perfect timing. I just finished my 2 slides. So,
Okay.
so it's you and Brandy.
Okay.
So you're the 2, and you're and I just told everybody I'm really trying to get folks to Dallas-Fort Worth. So I've got 2 of you from Dallas-Fort Worth. So since the other panelists are not here, we will focus on Dallas-Fort Worth, which I want to do anyways here.
Okay.
But I said that we would go right to the questions. I do want you to introduce yourselves first, though. I already gave it away that you're already residents in Dallas Fort Worth. But if you want to say a little bit more where you're from and what you're teaching right now, Shawnetta and Brandy, and then we'll get into the parent questions. And then folks who are participating tonight, if you want to ask questions in the chat tool, I will facilitate that tonight. So, Shawnetta, do you want to kick off and tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Shawnetta. I am in the Dallas Fort Worth cohort, so the pioneers. So right now I'm teaching 5th grade, and
where you're from?
Oh, I'm from Florida. So I went to USF.
And it looks you graduated 2 years ago from USF, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Correct.
Great. And Brandy, you want to introduce yourself? Oh, let's see if I need to do it. Let's see here. So I'm unmuting you, Brandy. There you go. I'll do it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So hi, my name is Brandy Griffith. I am in the Dallas Fort Worth cohort. Currently I teach kindergarten. I moved here from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. It's about 2 hours south.
And you're from Missouri State University, South.
And I have a 16-month-old daughter, Caitlin. University back in 2015 now.
Shawnetta, and I don't know how many children you have and what you want to share about.
So I have one son, and he just turned 5.
All right. So I did want to say, because this is like a question we get often, and so this is, I shared earlier, the first time that we've done a webinar with parents in our program, because we definitely get questions a lot with how on earth can you balance residency and being a parent. So do you want to both talk about how you do that?
Okay, so honestly for me, I have to give major kudos to my husband. Without him, I don't feel like I could do this, especially since I don't have any family or friends here. So when I'm still in coursework, my husband, he takes care of picking up our child from daycare, and
We just lose her?
Yep, I think it's frozen.
Hopefully she comes back. All right, Shawnetta, I'll let you fill in the space.
And getting her ready for bed and home. But yeah.
Great. Your husband picks up the long day. So, and I know you all have coursework till like usually 8:45 at night, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a long day. So it is.
Yeah. My day, I wake up at 6, and I get Caitlin ready, and then I get ready, and mornings are very hectic. Getting the door and into daycare, and then making it to work on time. And then, you go to coursework, and then, like you said, Monday 30. On Monday, every other day I usually get home around 7:30 or so.
Yep. Oh, Shawnetta, how are you doing it?
So right now, my mom has my son, which is very, very hard. But I still kind of I still have to send her money. I'm still paying for him. And basically, I just have to make myself available. So if I need to step out of class, I got to go call him and things like that. So kind of like juggling both and being away. And then so I also try to go every time we get a break or anything. I try to go and see him.
Back in Florida, he's in Florida?
So he's in Georgia with my mom.
Okay, Georgia. Okay. And then how are you envisioning it working out when you're first year teacher? So obviously the schedule is not quite as bad, I feel. And I don't know if you've thought about that at all and how you're seeing that's going to work for you. I think it's going to be different or more of the same.
So I'm bringing him here next year. So that's what I'm preparing for right now. I'm doing just kind of like I've built relationships with my host teacher as well as some other teachers in the area. So they have children, so they're willing to like allow him to stay with them, as well as getting him into the Boys and Girls Club and getting him in the school that's on my campus, just so that I don't have to leave. So whenever I am leaving, I have like that backup.
Great. And Shanetta, do you already know where you're teaching next year? So you know that's where you put your son?
Yeah, so I'll be teaching at Uplift. What grade, we don't know yet, but it'll still be Uplift Mighty.
Great. So, yeah, so then you're solid it by having your son actually enrolled in the school. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
All right, Brandy, how about you?
Right now, as far as the scheduling, I honestly feel like next year I'm going to have a better work-life balance than what I'm having this year. I don't know what our coursework is going to look like yet, but I definitely don't see me being at school until 9 p.m. Most nights, 7:30, I don't see that happening. I already made a vow to myself I'm leaving by 5:30 if I can help it, just so I can get time with my child, you know, because that's important to maintain my sanity. I need to see her, and you know, I need to be around her. And so right now I would say that I just keep reminding myself this is kind of the trying year, and next year it's going to get better. Next year it's going to be better. And I, you know, she's my motivation. She's the reason I'm doing all this, to give her a better life than what I had. And that's what I keep reminding myself when things get tough.
Great. Yep. Great. So I don't know if folks on the call have specific questions they want to ask about how Brandy and Shanetta balance everything. And one thing, we do have you like working 2 summers. And after that, then you do have your summer spring.
Yeah, that's another perk, the summers.
Right.
Yeah, so perk of the profession. Though if you wanted to work, there is, you know, plenty of opportunities. People want teachers to work in the summer too, but for those who are parents and want to have the time off when their children are off, this is not a bad way to go. So just not the first. So I don't know if the folks who are watching, if they have any specific questions about how they juggle, because there is the residency year here. You've got 2 residents on. This is the most difficult time of the program. So you can see they've got long hours and long commutes, Brandy, it looks like. And then they're also going home and doing your coursework, right? And so how do you make sure that you have time for yourself, for your children, you know, with not only where you need to be physically, but all the other homework and lesson planning you need to do too? So any advice for folks on those fronts?
You want me to go, Brandy? Okay, so
Oh.
Brandy, I think you're cutting out a little bit, so I'm going to let Shanetta go.
You really have utilize. Oh, go ahead.
So, oops, now did we just lose her altogether?
yeah.
So hopefully,
Oh, she's coming back. There you go.
so actually, Brandy, somebody did ask you a specific question, and so they asked you if you stayed in the housing we provided during Summer Institute with your husband, because you had a husband and daughter. And I just want to clarify that the inaugural cohort for Dallas-Fort Worth started late, and so here in Hotel is not how we normally do things. So normally in the next cohort coming to Dallas-Fort Worth and every other city that we work in, they are in dorms, and we don't have housing for families. So I don't know what you both did in the summer.
So that was kind of a struggle for my family and I because we never have even been to Texas before, and there wasn't much in the way of resources for us. I guess with it being the inaugural cohort, they were still trying to figure things out. But basically, I was responsible for finding my own place before I moved down here. They told me that I could stay in the hotel, but I was adamant that I had to be with my family. I wasn't going to leave them in Missouri and bring them down later. We were moving as a family, or we weren't moving at all, was my mentality on that. And so I really had to step up the effort and make sure we had a place lined up before we even moved here. So I actually found a sublet on Craigslist, and that's where I didn't stay with my cohort in the hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think just from my experience, just watching what cohort members do, that typically most people do stay whatever summer housing is provided. And the only folks that don't tend to be the folks that have parents who are parents. And those folks I've watched most often choose not to live in the summer and do find either they're already in town. So Brandy, I think you're a rarity to have move your whole family, because usually the families are already in town. So you would need to get housing, for your family and then come to Summer Institute. So Shawnetta, I don't know what you did. How did you make it?
So since my son didn't move with me and he stayed, I did stay in the housing on campus. But I have a friend where he did leave his family, like you said. So he left his family and he stayed in the summer housing, and then they all moved down after.
Yeah. So Summer Institute is usually 5 or 6 weeks. So and I know some people would do some things like stay in the housing during the week and then go with their families on the weekend. So there's a couple different options for folks. So I know it was asking a different question when that question popped up. I forgot what it was. Maybe it was like how you were. Now I remember. It was more like how you take time for yourself and your family, given all the responsibilities where you need to be physically, but also then all of your coursework and lesson planning, all of that stuff that you need to do.
So I kind of like I said, set out time, because just like Brandy said, that's like sanity. Mm-hmm. So just setting out a specific time where, okay, this is my time. Me and my son are on video call. Mm-hmm. Whether even if I need to be lesson planning while I'm doing it, I'm still giving him, most of the time is his. Mm-hmm. So just kind of and he likes to talk and dance and sing. So we do whatever we have to do on video call for him to feel like I'm still a part of it, and just setting out those times where I'm okay, this is my visiting days. So I'm going to be here, and I just let them know in advance.
Mm-hmm. So what I do is a lot of times I'll have Caitlin with me. So I'll be lesson planning and watching her, and you just have to multitask. That's how I do things. And I really reserve the weekends for myself and her. I don't do a lot of work on the weekends, so it makes my week very busy, but it's a trade-off. I'm willing to sacrifice my week to spend the weekend with her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you have to compromise somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Great. Good. Any other specific questions about parenting? And then I just wanted to ask, since I do want to encourage more folks to choose Dallas-Fort Worth, just quickly as we end here, just tell us how you've all moved to town, and maybe how you've liked Dallas-Fort Worth since, and I don't know specifically where you're living, closer to Dallas or closer to Fort Worth or the multiplex or the mid city, right?
Mid cities.
Cities, yeah.
So if you can just speak a little bit about your experience so far, having been now in town for about eight months or so.
So for me, it's been a completely different experience. I moved here from a town of 35,000 people, and I don't know how many people are here. I'd say at least 30 million, it feels like. So it was definitely kind of a culture shock at first, but I actually love it here. Everyone is so nice. It's the Southern charm kind of vibe that you get here. There's endless opportunities for me and my family. Like my husband, he found a great job that he definitely wouldn't have been able to get otherwise. The economy is booming. It's the place to be. Everyone from California to Arizona, they're all moving here because the housing market is still kind of cheap, and it's the climate's wonderful. Like there wasn't snow, there wasn't ice. The average was 70 degrees this winter. It was wonderful. Like it was awesome. I've really enjoyed my time here so far.
Great.
There's tons to do.
Annetta, how about you?
So I live in those mid-city areas, and I work in Fort Worth, but like where our cohort is, like kind of station and everything is in Dallas. So being in that mid-city kind of helps me to, okay, over here I can go to work, and then over here I can also go to coursework, but also having that flexibility. So just like you said, there's plenty of things to do here, plenty of events, plenty of like free stuff to do, and very, very beautiful architecture and art and all kinds of things. So it's like, it's a city to explore.
And there's a lot, there's such a diversity in cultures here too. Like, it's so awesome. There's people from all over the world here.
Yeah, there's been 75 corporate headquarters that have moved into Dallas Fort Worth. So Brandy, I'm glad you said that about your husband too. So if folks have significant others,
business is booming.
They have a lot of opportunities. So I know that.
They definitely do.
And then for Shawnetta, how about the travel? Easy travel, right?
Yeah, there's a lot. It's easy travel. Look, they have many different highways. You get accustomed.
Always.
But I was talking about just even the airports,
oh yeah.
The DFW Fort Worth Airport and the Dallas
Love Field.
Great ability to go anywhere you want cheaply, which is great.
Yeah.
Great. And then just to wrap up, in case anybody has any more questions online, chat now. And if you have any last sort of minutes, any last advice for folks who are thinking about coming to our program with kids or having kids while they're with us, just important pieces of advice you have.
I would definitely encourage you to consider joining the program. I really feel like I have grown so much tremendously, as a person. I feel like this is kind of like what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's like every day at work, it's hard, but it's fun. I love what I do. And it's an amazing opportunity. You're getting a degree from one of the best schools in the world for education. And I mean, it's just awesome. It's really a great program.
Great. Shawnetta, you want to finish up for us?
Sure. I would definitely encourage you to join. It will be a struggle. It will be hard. It will push you to your limits.
Yep.
But
I agree.
I absolutely agree with Brandy. It will build your practice and also build you as a person and just your perspective. Just our cohort alone, I feel like we learn a lot from each other. We cry together. We talk out things, we discuss things that may not be easy but need to be discussed, and then just learn from one another. So I feel like it's a great program. And just like she said, you're getting the Johns Hopkins degree. You're doing something that you love. And it's pretty fun.
Great. Good. All right. Well, we'll wrap up tonight. I thank Brandy and Sharnetta again for sharing your experiences and how you're balancing everything. So thank you. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.